Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and today we are going to talk about Laseer. So, we just talked about in the last video, or might have been 2 videos ago, I'm not sure which order I'm putting these out in, but we just talked about Morgan being the Lord skill for this guy, and so perfect lead in to what this guy's going to bring to the table. We are here on the Forerunner server, so we got a bunch of units here that we don't have yet on Global, but I figured this was a good way to take a look at his kit and help you guys decide whether or not you should summon for him, or if you are summoning for him and, like, say for example you already get Hex, if you should consider continuing on in order to summon this guy. So let's take a look at his kit. Basic attack, his talent is basic attack and Ominous Sandstorm. Apply Sand Erosion on the target, stacking up to 3 times. If we take a look at his range real quick, he's got pretty standard mage range where he's got the 2 tiles in front and 3 across, and then he's got the 1 extra tile. So he can reach all the way across on GR1. He's got a cost of 17, and he's got an attack interval of 3.5. So he does attack quite slow. Moving on to his basic attack, deals 100% damage up to 5 enemies. So nice that he sort of AoEs there with his skill 1. His ultimate deals 600% AoE damage to enemies in range and inflicts anti-healing on them. So if you didn't already know what this guy does, this is mainly what you're bringing him in there for, is this full heal block. So this isn't a percentage of heal block he's reducing. This is they cannot heal themselves for 10 seconds. And it doesn't have a huge cost at 900, and he's got an initial rage meter of 500, and the skill cost decreases to 8 as well. So on top of that, the anti-heal duration does increase, so it goes from 10 seconds up to 15 seconds, which is a very long time to be blocking heals. I think mainly you just want to get the skill cost reduced, but all in all, basically what you're going to be using him for, which we'll get into in a little bit, is bringing him into your GR1 team and blocking the Eloin heals so that the Eloin can't heal up, and you can just kill all the ads and get down to the Eloin faster. Moving on, his auto attack. It's not his basic attack. He's got like an extra attack that's also an auto attack. Every 5 seconds, inflicts slow on adjacent enemies based on their sand erosion stacks. So, kind of nice. It's not going to have a huge effect, to be completely honest. I mean, it is a big movement speed decrease, but it's not going to have a huge effect on the outcome of the fight, in GR1 at least. But you could use him as a slow in other places. Also, just so you know, these sand erosion stacks, each stack deals magic damage equal to 10% of this guy's attack per second. So, kind of nice there. He will be inflicting a decent amount of extra damage. And then finally, his passive, when an enemy with 3 stacks of sand erosion dies with the basic attack range, grants another nearby enemy 2 of those stacks. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 8 seconds. So, if somebody else dies from that, basically it passes on to someone else, which is kind of nice. It's a nice little benefit. But to be completely honest, the whole reason you want this guy is to bring him into your GR1 team. I can't think of anywhere else in game where you would even necessarily use him. It seems like his damage is actually pretty good. Like, this is going to scale up once you scale him up to 800% AoE damage, which is decent. It's not like it is burst damage, which is nice. It's not like your ultimate lasts for 10 seconds and it does that damage over 10 seconds. It's just he deals the damage when you hit the skill, which is nice. But mainly it's that heal block. So let's go take a look at the GR1 teams here on Forerunner server for people that already have him. Actually, before we do, just to further my point here, because I don't see, at least for myself, I don't see myself using him anywhere else. Faction Trials makes sense. Tide obviously makes sense. And then I guess you could use it in Gold Raid, but there's no heals there. You don't really need it unless you just need somebody. AoE Arena, I suppose, but mainly GR1. It's a 4.7 in GR1, It does look like he's doing decent damage. Some people are using him in GR2 and GR3, but primarily it's going to be GR1. So like we were going to do, let's jump over to GR1 real quick. Let's jump down to stage 21. Recommended lineups. Hello? Did we break the game? There we go. All right, so you can see a Laseer here. He's actually not in this team, but we can see a Laseer here. See a Laseer here. Laseer. Laseer. He's not in this team either. And he's not in this team. Keeping in mind that almost every one of these teams has Morgan. There's another Laseer, another Laseer. I think if you don't have Morgan, I don't even know how you're going to clear GR1 21 without Laseer. If you do have Morgan, it's just going to make it easier. But Morgan's damage boost to AoEs is like something ridiculous, like 55% or something like that, plus the stat boost. So if you don't have that, I think you really, really, really need Laseer in order to be able to do later stages. So long story short, should you summon on the banner for Laseer? Yes, definitely, because there's a Laseer and there's a Hex, and they're two of the better units in the game. If you get Hex and you haven't summoned a Laseer yet, should you keep summoning? I know I will be. One, Hex Awakenings are quite nice. What's the pop-ups? Hex Awakenings are quite nice if you do get another Hex, but primarily getting a Laseer, just having one, it doesn't need to be multiple copies. Getting one for your GR1 team is going to be super, super important. Even if you have Morgan, but in particular, if you don't have Morgan, getting a copy of him is going to stop you from getting blocked on GR1. He's not going to be an auto clear by any means, but he will be a unit that's going to help you get through that for sure. One last thing, we will take a look at his awakenings real quick. Deals 15% extra damage to targets with anti-healing, 300% attack. Trigger interval becomes 1 second. Affects up to 2 enemies. That's when it expires. All damage by 8%. Inflicts immobilize enemies with 3 stacks. So like his awakenings are fine. If you happen to get like an A5 or an A1 or whatever awakening for him, it's fine. I don't think it's mandatory by any means. I think you just want one for the heal block. I wouldn't summon particularly for more than one of him. I don't think it's worth it. If you happen to get multiple copies, great. But if you have, for example, an A5 Hex and you have one of this guy already, I wouldn't keep summoning. It's just not worth it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see reviews on anybody else, make sure you leave it down in the comment section down below. Next up, I'm going to be recording the Hex video. So I don't know which order they're coming out in again, but if you haven't seen it yet, then it means it's coming out next. So have a good day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.